That's ridiculous.
I'm sorry you think it's ridiculous.
I do.
Then you need to talk to some of the parents that I've been talking to. Talk to the therapists that I've been talking to. Talk to the doctors.
A controversial reproductive rights bill passed the Budget Committee this week and is now headed to the House floor for a vote. This bill has seen some emotional and at times contentious hearings. In this month, the intensity amplified around whether teens and parents should discuss decisions like having an abortion. Katu's Christina Giardinelli reports from Salem.
The bill would require insurance companies to cover abortion and gender-affirming care. It would also create a crime of harassing an abortion provider because of the work they do. Now, some of the more controversial aspects of the bill that address the age of consent to an abortion would not change the status quo in Oregon. House Bill 2002, a controversial reproductive rights bill, has emotions running high at the Capitol. At its first public hearing, hundreds showed up to testify, waiting in line for hours. The hearing was at times heated.
This is forced team. This bill should not include
I will clear the room and not let anybody else talk. You don't get to do that. That's rude and unfair.
The bill would require insurance companies in the state to cover abortion and gender-affirming care. Some in favor say they've had to pay out of pocket for those services.
Since coming out, I have been forced to spend over $30,000 of my own money on treatment that has helped me immeasurably. However, none of that treatment was covered by insurance.
Those against it are mostly concerned about portions of the bill that codify into Oregon law the right to abortions regardless of age and without parental consent.
I would like to address the portion of this bill that eliminates the age limit for accessing the abortion pill. One of the most beautiful relationships in the universe is a parent to a child. Colleagues, this bill goes to the very core of a family unit.
But proponents of the measure say this bill would not change that. Representative Rob Nose chairs the House Committee on Health Care.
House Bill 2002 does not change anything about how minors consent to their abortion care in the state.
They say Roe v. Wade already provided the right to an abortion for anyone, regardless of age and regardless of whether parents authorize it. Medical practitioners testify that this is the standard, but that they always try to encourage kids to communicate with parents when that's a safe option. Republicans say they're concerned that this would encourage providers to leave parents out of the decision. They tried to stall the bill from moving out of Joint Ways and Means Committee this week. Senator Tim Knope is the Senate Minority Leader.
Attorney General Ellen Rosenblum has been tweeting her reaction to the updates on this ruling. Today she tweeted the Supreme Court's decision means that the drug is still legal, and also that Oregon is joining 22 other states and the District of Columbia in filing an amicus brief with the Supreme Court to protect access to the drug nationwide. Meanwhile, 2 Oregon congresswomen from across party lines weighed in on the ruling.
Representatives Lori Chavez-DeRemer and Andrea Salinas may be in different political parties, but both are from Oregon and both agree that a Texas judge's ruling to block FDA approval of abortion drug mifepristone was wrong.
I think that decision was not a good decision, and I'll tell you why. This is a states' rights issue. For a judge to be second-guessing science and what the FDA has already proven to be sound science and worthy of, our marketplace, concerns me because it feels very political.
So how are people in our area still able to access this drug? On Thursday, a federal judge in Washington issued an order that would preserve access to mifepristone in Oregon, Washington, and more than a dozen other states, regardless of the conflicting rulings from the Texas judge and Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. In February, Oregon Attorney General Ellen Rosenblum and Washington Attorney General Bob Ferguson filed a lawsuit with 10 other AGs against the FDA, alleging the agency had singled out the abortion drug for excessive regulation. Rosenblum tweeted Friday, quote, "We will continue to fight every step of the way to make this safe and effective drug available everywhere," to which Salinas echoed,
Oregon, we're safe here, right? We're good here, so that people should know that.
A local law professor says pregnant patients in Oregon will continue to have access to the drug as long as the federal government doesn't intercede to overrule state laws.
Access to abortion rights, not just in the so-called red states, but nationwide in states like Oregon, is going to be dependent on whether or not there's a friendly occupant in the Oval Office and in the national halls of Congress. It's not simply going to be left to the states, and the architects of the Dobbs decisions aren't going to be content to leave it just to the states.
Now, in addition to the Justice Department, Danco Labs, which makes the brand version of mifepristone, Mifeprex, has also asked the Supreme Court to intervene.